The Joe Rogan Experience.
What is this this physical training company that you're doing? You're doing something...
XPT.
Yeah, what is that?
XPT is, I would describe it as a kind of it's a lifestyle program that evolved out of how we live, like what we do. And so we started an experiential thing where people can come for like 2.5 days and go through this, get exposed to speakers, and they do heat and ice, and we do pool training and breath work and mobility.
So you have conferences and stuff there? Like exposed to speakers? Like, what do you mean?
Well, I'll invite, I would invite you to come and speak for an hour, or I'd invite Paul Check, or we'd have somebody speak on longevity, or somebody speak on, it's just during the experience, we'll have a couple speakers talk on, nutrition, fitness, wellness, career, whatever, just as something, as another piece of the element. And then like I said, we have pool training, and then we've been certifying trainers now to kind of help people go through the process as well. And so it's really about rest and recovery and breathing. It's more based on that part. It's not just another training thing of like, hey, how we can hammer you. I mean,
right.
I think that's overplayed. I think the ways we can train and how we're training is really overplayed. I think we're not creating enough things that nurture the system, and really look at trying to support people in their already, hammering life. They're already just beating themselves down. It's like, let's get off the red eye, and then we'll go to the gym and we'll hammer ourselves there, and then we'll stay up all day. And, and I think they need some support. So breath work is a big part of it. Knowing how to move correctly, I think that's a big part of it, because plenty of people hurt themselves, especially in the gym, without some knowledge of movement and form. And then I have a pool training system I developed, which is...
Yeah, Gabby was telling me about that. It sounds crazy.
Yeah, that's the most proprietary thing I think we have is it's a marriage between the gym and the pool, because I despise swimming. That's
you do?
Yeah, I just
That's
can't.
hilarious.
Well, no, I do. If you said go do laps in the pool, I'd be like Shamu, and I'd get the floppy fin. And
really?
That's
crazy. Yeah, but you're a fucking surfer.
No, but I'm saying, but if you said, hey, we're going to take these masks and these fins, and we're going to swim this coastline where the waves are breaking on the rocks, and we're going to go for 5 miles, I'm in. Like but if you said, "Hey, go down there and wear some swim goggles where you can't even see, and swim in some murky water where you don't know what's in it, and we're going to swim a mile down there, and you're going to do that every day," I'd rather step on a rusty nail than do that. I mean, it's like that's so because of my disdain for swimming, that kind of swimming. I mean, if it's in the surf and in the waves, that's a different game. That's a whole different thing.
You don't want to do laps in the pool.
You'd kill me. I'm gonna die. I would rather. Yeah, I'd rather hit my hand with a hammer.
That's so weird. I would think that you would just enjoy moving in the water.
Well, I do with some dumbbells.
Oh, okay.
So carrying a dumbbell and jumping and dumbbels. And
why did you start at XPT? Like, what was the motivation? Because you're obviously into doing this stuff yourself.
Yeah.
But why create a foundation or?
Well, the reason why we started it was because an opportunity to expose this stuff and share it with more people. We were doing it ourselves naturally, and then we'd have friends come, and they were like, "This stuff's awesome." And then, "Can I invite my friend?" And then we realized that if we really wanted to expose it to more people and share it, it was going to be a limitation if everybody had to come to my house.
Do you have like a website and everything?
Yeah.
What does XPT stand for?
XPT life.com, and XPT stands for, well, my concept is exploration in performance training.
There it is. So, high performance fuels a limitless life. Dumbbells in the pool. There it is.
Oh yeah.
So this is all your idea, the dumbbells in the pool?
Yeah.
I need to.
Yeah, you have to come. Well, I'm just in the process.
It's my boy, Kyle Kingsbury.
Oh yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah, well, I have some beautiful guys come. Like I'll give you a great thing that you'd appreciate is I have this whole well, first of all, there's a bunch of things that happen in the water, right? Which one of the things that happens is when you're underwater, the compression of the water allows the blood to flow through your lymphatic system, which normally takes about a 24-hour period. It happens in 1 hour. So imagine compression tights. Like, if you wear compression, it really helps the blood flow.
Right.
Well, this is the ultimate compression. The water is, right?
Yeah.
So then you deal with the psychology. So it's good for fighters. Like I fighters, because of the psychology of what we can do, because you deal a lot with stress. So we're able to implement stress in a very controlled environment. And then, like, for example, and Grant Hill at one point in his career, but I have a friend, Joakim Noah, who's a basketball player, and we were doing these in the water. We're doing these dunking drills last summer. So I trained with him and did a bunch of stuff, because you can do a lot of highly explosive, heavy loaded movement with protection. Because now you don't have to worry about momentum, which is what's going to pull your shoulder out. It's going to throw your hip. It's going to hurt your knee. Where I can take a basketball player and I can run him through thousands of jumps, which at the end of, if I did that on land, he would be broken. He's already jumping too much in his season. He doesn't need to jump more, right? So I could load him up and make him do these dynamic movements, but now he's protected because we've taken gravity out. So it's like saying, hey, we get to go trade in outer space, but it's in my backyard.
Right. Now, what kind of results have these athletes been experiencing?
So Joakim, in his career, and I don't know how many years he's been in the NBA, he came back after doing this dunking job, just using this as an example, and had the most dunks per minute that he's had in his entire career.
Whoa.
He was like dunking on, it was slamming on everybody. I mean, it helps that he's 7 feet tall, but the fact is that he noticed. Now, Grant Hill was talking about he gained 3 inches in the last year of his career after playing in the NBA for 20 years. All of a sudden, he's jumping 3 inches higher.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, that's the kind of tangible stuff that I'm getting. Just that there's a lot more things. A lot of it has to do with breath, because in the water it's all controlled breathing patterns. So everything is controlled, because you can't breathe in until you get to the top. So if you're doing a drill where you're jumping, and most of the things we do are leg driven, swimming is mostly arms. Part of the reason why people only use their arms is because you use 5 times the oxygen with your legs as you do with your arms. So the legs are very inefficient for swimming, but yet they create a lot of load on your heart, which that can boost your breath holding. And so there's a bunch of other things that happen, but a lot of it is just that environment is very protective. So for recovery too, for like when somebody's got a hurt knee, hurt hip, hurt ankle, you can go in there and start moving dynamically early before you would ever do it on land and be protected. So there's a bunch of, and then we can just ratchet it up. I can make, I truly believe if you said, I'll get you, Phelps is going to come to your house and you're going to have Phelps for 3 months, I could make Phelps faster. Yeah.
What is this here? Oh,
he's doing a dunking drill and he's using a medicine ball, but he's having to jump out of 3 feet of water, right? So when he gets on land, it's like a whole other game.
Yeah, I would imagine.
A whole nother game.
Now, did you invent this protocol, this whole thing of jumping and doing it in the water? What motivated you?
Well, the original concept came out of a thing we used to do in the summer when we were kids. That's a Hawaiian kind of waterman drill where you run on the bottom with stones.
I've seen that. BJ Penn does that stuff.
Yeah, so you get a stone, you run along the bottom, then you put it down, then your friend swims along the surface, and then when you go up, he swims down, grabs it, and then he goes along as far as he can, and you swim, and you just go back and forth until neither one of you can do it. So it was based kind of on that concept, but I wanted to expand that because that's kind of limiting. You just swim and you run, and you can't isolate movements, and you're not working like you can with dumbbells. So now I shift dumbbells into the water, and I have all different weights. So depending on your skill level, everything we do, and that's one thing about everything that I'm involved in is it usually has to have it has to be able to be, for everybody to do it. It has to be old people and kids. To in my mind, that it's not viable unless you can appeal to everybody. That you need to, a kid needs to be able to do it, an old person be able to really be valid, to really have legitimacy. It's like, okay, the coffee, there has to be things that the kids can have, that creamer, old people can have it. It's got to be good. It can't just be specialized. I think the specialization of some of this stuff creates the lack of validity. I don't think that it's valid if it's specialized. And so I can take a little kid, like my daughter does a bunch of the pool training stuff, right? I have an older guys that come and do a bunch of the pool training stuff. I got Pat Riley comes in there and he trains in the summertime with us and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So we get a really broad spectrum of people, and that confirms to me that it's really legitimate, right? Because then it's like, no, this is real. Like the kids can do it, the old people can do it, the top guys can do it, the bottom guys can do it, everybody can do it. That's something that's I just think that's the what is real.
So how many years have you been doing this?
XPT, well, I mean the pool training I developed over the last probably 10 to 12 years, about 12 years now in the pool.
And you've evolved it? So you started off with a couple ideas?
Well, I had like a Velcro weight jacket where you Velcro like a weight. Yeah, and jump in the deep end. It was a little scary. Yeah. Can't get the jacket off, and how can you get up? So that wasn't
too sketchy.
That wasn't viable. That was. So then we moved to dumbbells where you can drop them. But we, there's probably 20 exercises that we have.
How much weight are you using?
It depends. Sometimes we have a move called the gorilla where we're using, 60 to 70 pound dumbbells where you're doing a curl press jump. So you're jumping on the slope. So you're curl pressing and jumping with 60, 70 pound dumbbells, depending on your size. We're swimming with 50 pound, 60 pound dumbbells. We're jumping off the bottom with 15 pound dumbbells. It depends on the exercise. So it all depends on the person's skill, what the drill is. But I have all the weights next to the pool. So we have everything from 70s to 5 pound dumbbells.
I love that idea of the jump press. Like doing some sort of a...
Oh, yeah. You'd love it. It's crazy. I call it the gorilla curl. So it's a squat, curl, press, jump. And then when you come out of the water, you just let the weights drop, and then the water catches them. You could never do that on land.
And how deep
rip your shoulder out.
Right. How deep are you doing this in the water?
Well, you vary on your height. So I have about a 11-foot deep end, and then I have a slope so you can choose every depth all the way, and then I have what you saw in that last video. It's about a 3.5-foot shallow end. So this is the first pool. I'm trying to build a couple. I'm trying to build one in Hawaii right now that's going to evolve from what I learned from this pool. So this pool, I just kind of built it with the hopes of designing a program, and then out of it came all this stuff.
What are you going to alter?
I'm going to create multiple depths. So I'm going to do like an area that has 12 foot. Then we're going to shift back 2 feet and have a 10 foot, and then another flat area of 8 foot, and then another flat area of 6 foot. And then I have the magic width is about somewhere between 35 to 40 feet wide. And that's like if you're trying to swim a heavy dumbbell. We do a lot of individual limb stuff so that you isolate each limb. So we'll do pistol squats and Russian lunge squats and a bunch of other, and movements that you'd be very vulnerable if you did that in the gym. The chances are you could hurt yourself, but because you have that stability in that environment, it totally supports you. So you can be and go into ranges of motion that you don't have. Like you might not be able to go sink all the way down into a deep lunge on one leg and press out with dumbbells in your hand on the land, but in the water you can, and the water actually makes it lighter, so you have to boost the weight and stuff. So there's a bunch of great stuff that comes out of it.
That sounds very attractive to people that have had injuries. Beautiful.
But the irony is it's a little bit like what comes out of rehab, where you actually get better performance too. Like a lot of rehab exercises become performance driving exercises. It's like, hey, don't do that shit only when you get hurt. Start doing that and get strong that way, so then you won't get hurt.
Yes. Yeah.
So it comes that way too. It goes both directions.
And do you have workouts that people can follow online? If someone goes to the XPT Life, is XPT Life, is that what it is? XPT Life website?
Yeah. Well, actually, the thing that we have, the thing we have right now that's probably the most kind of prevalent one, the thing that's happening the soonest, is we have a breathing app coming out. So we have a breathing app that has almost every different modality of breath work. And so there's some pretty cool stuff in there where you can go choose, hey, before I go to sleep, or before my workout, after my workout, during my thing. So we have a pretty cool breathing app that we're working on as well. So